of yesteryear. Now, a special edition over here. I wanted to speak a bit about a great famous rabbi that most likely was a descendant of the Pelioets, Rabbi Eliezer Papo. Some people might call him Rabbi Eliezer Papo, Asheni. So he was actually from Jerusalem. He passed away, it's reported, over in the year 1898. So we're talking about 127 years ago. I think Vav Iyar was his Hilula. I'm not too sure when exactly he was born. Most likely, he descended from Rabbi Eliezer Papo, the author of the Pelioets. We're not 100% sure on that. I'm concentrating on him today because he had a famous Talmid, a famous student, and his student was called Rabbi Avram Romano. I've spoken about Rabbi Romano before. His Hilula is today on Tisha B'Av, so I thought what an honor we'll give, because we've already recorded a video on Rabbi Romano. We will actually say some words about his teacher, Rabbi Eliezer Papo, the great rabbi from Jerusalem. And let's start it. He I believe he was a rabbi of Sarajevo and of Jerusalem during the 19th century, respectively. He was born in Sarajevo. Obviously, that is part of Bosnia and Herzegovina. And he was a son of Shem Tov Papo. And it's reported it's most likely he was a descendant somehow or related to Rabbi Eliezer Papo to some fashion, but I'm not too sure exactly on that, if anyone has a greater clarity. Just going back to Rabbi Eliezer Papo, was one of the great authors in Jewish history. The author of various books, included the Pelioets, among his book, also the Orot Alim, and there was a Shut Pelioets, question and answers Pelioets, Elef HaMagen, the Chesed Elefim, Chodesh Aviv, and various different other books. Rabbi Eliezer Papo actually lived, I believe, between the years 1786 and 1827. He was one of the famous Kabbalists and poseks of his time, and was a Sephardic rabbi in Bulgaria, and the rabbi of a great Kehillah, was arguably one of the most famous rabbis of all time. And Rabbi Eliezer Papo Asheni would actually quote him on various occasions before. That is, like, let's say, another reason why we believe it's highly likely there was some form of strong relation between them. He was a rabbi of Sarajevo and would educate Torah over there. Among his Talmidim was a famous Rabbi Avram Romano, and it's his Hilula today. He was a rabbi, I believe, in Bosnia, in Sarajevo, I think for many, many years. And at the end of his life, Rabbi Romano was actually in Jerusalem. Now, most notably, I believe he would be the author of the Avram and the Shulchan Aruch Shel Avram, also various different Torah colossal books. I think he was also, his son himself, Rabbi Menachem Romano, was rabbi, I believe, of Zagreb, if I'm not mistaken, of Croatia. So this was a rabbinic family that had made really their room in various different places. At the end of his life, Rabbi Romano would actually study in Yeshivat Bet El, the famous Kabbalistic yeshiva, and also was one of the earliest students of Yeshivat Paraitis, let's say the bastion of the Sephardic yeshivot in Israel. Now, it's actually interesting. There's a man named Moshe David Gaon who's spoken about on various occasions before. I think he speaks about all these various different rabbanim that we're speaking about, Rabbi Papo, Rabbi Romano, so on and so forth. So recommend everyone to look into his writings. Okay, let's continue the video over here. He was one of the great rabbis of Sarajevo, and it's actually interesting. I think eventually he would actually go up and move to Eretz Yisrael. And Rabbi Eliezer Papo would move to Jerusalem over there. Over there, he would author various different great Torah works. And he would write a lot of his works, I think, in Ladino. He was well known, remember being obviously from the Balkans area himself. He would write some of the books in Hebrew also. In the introduction of his books, he writes that he authored the books. And what was his mission within regards to, I'll say in Hebrew, he said, he quotes, I'll quote him in Hebrew, that over there, who kotev shechiber et haSfarim letikun nafsho, for the repairing of the soul. They passed away in Jerusalem in 1898, it was. And I believe that's right at the end of the 19th century. He writes actually in his book, I'll quote once again in Hebrew, he says, he wanted sons, but he didn't have, it's reported over here. This was in the preface of his book. And I think 15 years after he passed away, his student who we mentioned about before, Rabbi Avram Romano, emigrated to the land of Israel. Let's explore some of his Sefarim over here, of the great rabbi's books. He left with a lot of, he did leave some important works, including Domestic Eliezer, which was in Ivrit. It also Domestic Eliezer in Ladino, and the Efi Zotari, which is on the Hilchot of Pesach, respectively. These were different great books in themselves. Actually, you see on the HebrewBooks.org website, I think the book Efi Zotari actually contains 142 pages, and was printed, I believe, in 1875. That would have been about 23 years before he passed away. I'm not too sure where the place was exactly where he printed it, and that was, if anyone knows actually where that was actually printed, I would appreciate it. The Domestic Eliezer was printed in several languages. The Hebrew one contained 101 pages. That was printed in the year 1892, I believe 6 years before he passed away. It was very different halacha and poskim after Rabbi Yosef Karo. In his books, there's a lot written. I think it was actually printed in Jerusalem, interesting enough. And I think it was actually printed through someone's name, Rabbi Moshe Le'el Interhal. I hope I pronounced his name correctly over there. And the publication was actually, it was 101 pages. It was actually printed in various different languages also, which we also have to point out. Rabbi, that was a Domestic Eliezer book. Let's explore with you the highlights from the book. Remember, his Hilula is not now. I believe it was on Yud Iyar, so we actually didn't write about it at the time of his Hilula, which was a bit of, so there's not much actually mentioned about him in general, but we know that he does mention Rabbi Eliezer Papo, the author of the Pelioet, in various occasions before, and we know that he moves to Eretz Yisrael at the end of his life. He was into Ladino. He wrote these books in Hebrew. In his books, he states that he wrote them, let's say, as we said before, letikun nefesh, to correct the soul. And it was duty to bring it to these collections and to bring the various different writings in of itself. The Efi Zotari actually contains teachings with regards to the Passover liturgy, and which we say on Pesach. Pesach naturally is a Jewish festival between the 15th of Nisan till the 22nd of Nisan, respectively. I think the Tfilot ala Cholim, this is also an important thing. Prayers for the people that aren't feeling well. This was printed in 1898. Let's explore a few of the highlights from the book itself. Melamed mitzvat rabbah lenoten tabak lekol adam bibli shibiksho oto. This was, I think, printed in Domestic Eliezer in page number 19, Amud Bet. Quoted, that was in 1882. I'm using the Hayomi website notes over here with regards to this. Another teaching. Melamed chibub mitzvah lemenachem ayad al mezuzah noshkim yedehem. This is actually page 26, I believe, of this great Torah book. In of itself, this happened to be, I think, on Amud Bet, perspective, once again printed in the year 1882. This once again from Domestic Eliezer, I think from page 17. This is from page number 17. Another teaching. Hashem linatzel ma'ayin hara, or the ha'ot hey, actually saves from the ayin hara, from the bad eye in itself. This is actually from page number 18, Amud Aleph, once again printed in the year 1882. So it was a great rabbi of his time, one of the great Bosnian rabbis in Jewish history, without a doubt. Now, very interesting, we've spoken about at least about 25 rabbis, or maybe 30 rabbis, from the Yugoslav countries, respectively, of yesteryear inside this series. And I recommend everyone to learn more about the great Chachamim, especially from Yugoslavia regions. We've spoken about rabbis from Bosnia, from Serbia, from Macedonia, various different rabbis also, and so on and so forth. So I would recommend everyone to look into that. And we've spoken about many other rabbis from various other countries. We've covered about 1,000 biography videos of great Chachamim of yesteryear. So I would recommend everyone, please, to look more into that. And if you descend from any of the great Chachamim we are speaking about, please send me an email. I would love to hear more information. Now, friends, we are a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. We're doing many things on this channel. We do tours all over Israel. We try and explore the various different parts of Yerushalayim, Bet Shemesh, various different cities. And so that's one reason to subscribe to the channel. We do a daily tidbit on the daily page of the Daf Yomi, which is also a very important project that we are working on, respectively. We have an inspirational Jewish personality every single day, giving over some chizuk for Am Yisrael to charge our day, to give something very, very important. and that's another project we're working on. We will also record videos within regards to weekly Parshat Shavua, and we will do videos on the Hebrew month, and we'll go all over spheres, different, let's just say, important topics, current day topics that are grappling the Jewish world and Am Yisrael. Also, we do a lot of short clips also, so that's reasons to join the channel. We are in the middle of Tisha B'Av at the moment. I'm recording this video at the moment because it's Rabbi Eliezer Papo's, let's say, famous student, Rabbi Avraham Romano's Hilula. Today we already recorded a video about Rabbi Romano, so I thought it would be appropriate to say a word with regards to the great Chacham, his great teacher, Rabbi Eliezer Papo, Asheni, or of Jerusalem. We could also say one of the great rabbis from Bosnia and from Yugoslavia in Jewish history, and possibly, most likely, a descendant of Rabbi Eliezer Papo, the author of the Pelioites, who he quotes down and brings down various different videos. So, wishing a meaningful Tisha B'Av. Take care. Thank you, everyone for watching, and please subscribe to the channel. Thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.